Hello, this video is about the digestive system consisting of digestive tract and accessory organs has overlapping food utilization function. First, let me explain what is the digestive system. The digestive system is a group of organs working together to convert food into energy and basic nutrients to feed the entire body. Food passes through a long tube inside the body known as the alimentary canal or the gastrointestinal tract or GI tract. There are several important accessory organs that help the body to digest food but do not have food pass through them. Like what I already told before, the digestive system consists of the digestive tract or alimentary canal and also the accessory organs. The alimentary canal or GI tract is made up of the oral cavity or mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and also anus, while the accessory organs include tongue, liver, gallbladder, and also the pancreas. This is the summarization for the function of each of the organ. To achieve the goal of providing energy and nutrients to the body, 6 major functions take place in the digestive system. First is ingestion or the intake of food. Mouth is responsible for this function as it is the orifice through which all food enters the body. Second is secretion, where the digestive system secretes fluid, includes saliva, mucus, hydrochloric acid, enzymes, and bile. Third is mixing and movement, which the digestive system uses 3 main processes to move and mix food, which are swallowing, peristalsis, and also segmentation. Next is digestion, which is the process of turning large pieces of food into its component chemical. Next is absorption, begins in the stomach with simple molecules, and most absorption takes place in the walls of small intestines. The final function of the digestive system is the excretion of waste in a process known as defecation.
As we know, we have 2 ways of food is digested in our body. The first one is mechanical and the second one is chemical. Mechanical involve the action of digestive organs serve to move food materials along, moisten and liquefy, and to pulverize them to increase the surface area of the food. This makes things more susceptible for the action of chemicals. The second one is chemical, involve the action of converting the large, complicated food molecules into smaller, simpler units like glucose, amino acid, and lipids so that it can pass through the cell membrane and be used by the cell. So I'm going to talk about the accessory organ in the oral cavity, which is the tongue, teeth, and salivary gland. Our tongue has the taste bud which help us to taste the food, and the tongue also helps to manipulate and move food into bolus, which kind of the shape, easier shape for the food to move from the mouth into the esophagus, into the stomach, and so on. This function is included into the mechanical way, just like the esophagus with its peristalsis movement. And the second one is teeth, help us to cut and grind food into smaller pieces to increase the surface area, as I said. This function overlapping with the stomach, which also has the segmentation, that is to churn the food back and forth, so that it breaks down to smaller pieces. And the third one is salivary gland. It helps to lubricate and chemically break down the food. It is this function almost all the digestive organ has it, like stomach, duodenum, and smaller intestine.
Let's talk about esophagus. Esophagus, this highlighted part, is another sub-organ which is very important in GI tract. For the upper esophagus sphincter, UES are made up of skeletal muscles, but they are not voluntary. UES only open when triggered by swallowing reflex. That means when we swallowed, the UES will open and allow the food to pass through. For LES, the dysfunction of LES may cause heartburn, which is some pain in chest, or acid indigestion due to the reflux of acid from the stomach. Now, let's discuss about some important functions of esophagus. Of course, one of the important functions is swallowing. The esophagus helps the GI tract to transfer food from mouth to stomach by peristalsis. Peristalsis is an involuntary contraction movement from the top to the bottom of the esophagus. While swallowing, the epiglottis move backward and cover the larynx. It covers the respiratory tract to allow the food directly go through the GI tract instead of the respiratory tract. Hence, eating while talking is a very dangerous movement because, as you can see, the voice box is just below the epiglottis. When you talk, the voice box will vibrate and causes the epiglottis to open up, and this may causes the food to enter the respiratory tract and cause life-threatening conditions. A rhythmic peristaltic contraction of the esophagus, muscles will push the food downward into the stomach for digestion. Another important function is to reduce the gastric reflux. LES, the contraction of the upper esophageal sphincter and the lower esophageal sphincter, LES, will prevent the backflow of gastric content into the esophagus, as the acid content may hurt the esophagus.
Next, we continue with the stomach. Stomach is one of the major organs involved in digestive system, and it lies in the upper part of abdominal cavity under the liver and diaphragm. It consists of four main layers, that is mucosa, contain chief cells, portal cells, and endocrine cell, submucosa, muscularis, and also serosa. However, stomach has overlapping function in utilizing food. The first one, it serves as a reservoir for food until it can be partially digested and moved along the GI tract. Next, chief cells and portal cells from the mucosa layer will secrete the enzymes of gastric juice and hydrochloric acid to aid digestion. The third one, it also produces gastrin hormone to regulate digestive functions and ghrelin to increase the appetite. However, only limited amount of drugs, water, alcohol, or others that can be absorbed here. Lastly, stomach also involved in mixing process. Through contractions of its muscular coat, it churns the food, breaking it into smaller particles and mixing them well with gastric juice.
Okay, now we will move to the overlapping function of small and large intestine. Small intestine consists of three processes. First, which mixing and movement by peristalsis and segmentations. Next, absorptions. Small intestine absorbs most digested food molecules as well as water and minerals. Then, small blood and lymphatic vessels in the intestinal wall will pick up the molecules and carry them to the rest of the body for storage or further chemical change. Small intestine also produce digestive juice that combines with pancreatic juice and bile to complete digestion process. Hence, the body will complete the breakdown of proteins and the final breakdown of starch produce glucose molecules. As for large intestine, it is used in excretion process, which involve absorption of water and vitamin B and K and changes the waste from liquid into stool. The waste product of the digestive process include undigested part of food and all the cells from the gastrointestinal tract lining. The rectum stores stools until it pushes stool out of the body during a bowel movement through defecation process. As for the conclusions, our digestive system is uniquely constructed to perform its specialized function. Its structure and function of this complex system act as a group of organs that work together in converting food into energy, and basic nutrients to feed entire body and packaging the residue for waste disposal. The end. Thank you.